The Russians fired at us with S-300 at about 11 o'clock in the evening. The fact that Russia fires the post office, Kharkiv, and the whole country, they are killing people. In total, there were 33 people at work. 8 of them died, and 16 are in our hospital.
The Russians are hitting. The aggressor is hitting. In Kharkiv, we feel that they are hitting objects that have nothing to do with the military. Civil facilities, these are schools and kindergartens, including the post office. Today, buildings are damaged, people have died.
Nowadays, postal communication remains relevant and finds new users. With the help of postal companies today, people buy, congratulate, acknowledge, take care of, and even save. While waiting for packages, we anticipate receiving them, and when we open them, we usually experience joy. But in October 2023, not all parcels in the Kharkov region were delivered to their destination. And some, those who survived and yet reached their recipients, bore an unusual and tragic mark, a trace of a missile strike.
It was a special package, and all the employees who opened it took out these books. Then everyone had tears.
On the night of October 21st, the Russian military attacked S-300 missiles at the cargo department of the postal company. Then, 16 company employees were injured, and 8 tragically died due to Russian terror. Their names are now forever inscribed in Ukrainian history. The Russians fired at us with S-300 at about 11 o'clock in the evening. Consequences, 8 people died. A total of 33 people were at work, 8 of them died, and 16 are in hospital. As of today, 4 are in the hospital, 2 are in serious condition. A tragedy for the company is for every person who was there, for every mother, father. We lost people. This is very scary. It's amazing that we have learned to live with it. There was a lot of debris we were fired at from the S-300 complex with these modified surface-to-air missiles. They modified surface-to-air missiles. They made surface-to-surface and hit us with the S-300 complex. This attempt was not the first. Before that, the Russians had already shelled this post office. In April 2022, there was shelling. At that time, 1 person died and 8 were injured. Yes, 8. And there were other attempts. It flew nearby. There was shelling from Russia near the terminal. The windows were blown out. The manager of the postal company, Bohdan Sandul, got married 2 years ago, and the young couple gave birth to a son, Miroslav. An interesting job, career growth, a beautiful wife, and a healthy child. The young family dreamed of a vacation in the Carpathians. The family planned to go there by their own car. But these plans were destroyed by the Russian invasion. I remember it perfectly. It was around at 22:11, 22:13. As soon as the air alarm just sounded, I immediately picked up the phone to see what happened. And immediately the rocket flew into our terminal. Everyone fell down from the blast wave. I lost consciousness. I came to my senses. I looked, and half of the terminal is gone. Everything sparkles, burns. I thought my hand was gone. It was bleeding. I looked. There is a hand, I think. Thank God. I got up and started looking for my friends. I sat down and waited for the ambulance. It was very scary. There was a piece of debris sticking out in my leg. It was difficult to breathe. I was suffocating. The lungs were punctured, the doctors told me later. Now, instead of resting in the mountains with his family, Bohdan is forced to save his injured hand. When I got to the hospital, I had 3 operations there in 20 days. It's difficult. After the operation, my hand is getting worse and worse. It moves poorly because the nerve endings were cut, and so rehabilitation. I was discharged from the regional hospital and started going to my clinic. It helped a little. Physiotherapy and exercise help it. I enrolled at the Institute of Neurosurgery and Psychiatry, and now I am being treated there as an impatient. I am proud of everyone. I am proud of their courage, their will to work and to live. Yes, I plan to return. I was called to return. But I said that it is necessary to wait a little, to do the operation. At least go through a little rehabilitation, and we'll see there. Do you know what surprises me about employees? Those who came under fire, people who were injured, were treated. They do not need motivation. People just pulled themselves together, recovered as quickly as possible, and went to work. Sometimes you need to look for motivation for those people who were not present at that moment, and the one who went through it do not need motivation. They just go and work. Yes, it's scary, very scary for the guys who work. And it's scary for me, and the family at home, and the children. Terrible.
Дуже страшно і за хлопців, які працюють, і самому мені страшно. І сім'я вдома, і діти вдома. Страшно. Да, оно может в любую точку прилететь, как бы.
But it can shelling anywhere. It's like a game of roulette. Russia can shoot at Kharkiv and the region. Our job is to go and help deliver parcels to customers.
Это ж кто-то должен делать.
Someone has to do that. Parcels to send. Plus, we have a frontline region where people are waiting for parcels, and there is no other way for them to bring these. Only the post office carries them. No one drives so close to the front, and I just know that people are waiting there. You can't stop. They will remain out of touch with the normal world.
Мы, наверное, между собой воспринимаем это как какой-то другой, более внутренний такой глубинный фронт.
We probably perceive it among ourselves as some other internal front, and we must work for the people.
The ability to receive and send parcels in wartime is very important for the frontline region. We were expecting a parcel with books that were supposed to replenish our fund. And a tragedy happened when the post office was shelled. Employees were killed, and many premises were damaged and destroyed. The parcel did not arrive. And a few days after this tragedy, a package with a sticker arrives at our library. This sticker indicated that these books had survived the rocket attack on the post office. And when we were sorting through this long-awaited package, the staff of our library decided that the books that did reach us should be somehow separately marked. And we made a sticker for each book. And on this sticker, it is indicated that this book survived the rocket attack. And every reader who gets the book will know about it.
We are an integral part of this country. We must function. Difficult for everyone. This is my front. This is the front of my company. My guys, my subordinates and colleagues. This terrorist act was portrayed in the Russian mass media as a successful operation to destroy Ukrainian military equipment. Post office employees are only surprised by this delusion. After all, Everyone understands that the armed forces of Ukraine have their own logistics, and they do not transport tanks by postal companies. I want to say that the post office is a commercial enterprise, has no relation to the military. And the fact that Russia is shelling the post office is an act of terrorism. After the hit, the next day, on television in Russia, they said that we were transporting tanks to the east of Ukraine. But this is a lie. We have our own trucks with the post office logo. We do not have hired trucks. And the tank will not fit in that truck due to its dimensions. This is just a lie. They wanted to invent some reason. The post office is not a military facility. Not at all military. Terrorists. That is a country of terrorists. They don't care where to hit. The main thing is to hit. They invented something for themselves, that we transport some kind of rockets with postal transportation. They invented it themselves. They hid it themselves.
In Kharkiv, we feel that they are also shelling objects that have nothing to do with the military. These are civilian facilities, schools, kindergartens, including the post office. Today, buildings were damaged, people died.
This is a cargo terminal. There are large packages. There were approximately 15,000 parcels per day. It is a pity that Russia is shelling Ukraine. They must be punished very serious for this.
First of all, the Russian leadership, which unleashed this war, which has been going on since 2014. They must be punished in an international court as the soldiers. And the condemnation they have from people is something else. But for everyone, they are aggressors.
Russians will be responsible for their crimes before the law and before God. And I am convinced that this will happen in the near future. Sure.